Go ahead and call this meeting to order. Brawley City Council and successor agency to Brawley Community Redevelopment Agency regular meeting agenda for Tuesday, February 18th, 6 p.m. at our City Council chambers, 383 Main Street, here in Brawley, California. Can we have the roll call, please?
The minutes will reflect all council members present.
Okay, invocation. Pastor Mike, please come up.
Father, we come and stand before you this evening, and we thank you for your grace, your mercy that you've bestowed on us, and as well the citizens and the city in which we live. We ask for your direction, for your anointing of your Spirit on the decisions that are made by our city leaders, and help us, Lord, to live in peace and unity and harmony with everyone in this city. For we ask and pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Councilman Morton, will you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Everyone face the flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Mike. Thank you, Don. Okay. We have the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, moved by Councilman Wharton and seconded by Premier Pro Tem Hamby. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving on to item 2 on our agenda, public appearances and comments. Not to exceed 4 minutes. This is a time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Is there anyone out here that would like to make a comment? Please come up. Up here, please. Yes. Yes,
My
please.
name is Howard Sullivan, and I believe you have all received a letter from myself and my sister regarding property on B Street.
Yes.
What we would like to do is to find out if there's any reaction, any way we can answer questions, but we've heard nothing. And you've had my letter approximately 2 weeks ago.
We did receive the letter, and I did confer with our city manager, and we will probably be discussing that and get back to you. Will that response come from you, Rosanna, or from Bill, or?
It can. It is an item that would need to go into a closed session environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I would like to know where the authority came from for the planning commission or the planner of the city to take property. And so we would like an answer, and I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, ma'am?
Hi, my name is Lori Lyons, and I'm here because of the adult softball league. We'd like to know where the money is. We pay a utility tax, and the utility tax is supposed to be for the Parks and Recreation, Police Department, and the Fire Department. We haven't lost homes, we've gained homes. So where's the money? We've never hired a parks and director again, so who's trying to get monies from federal facilities and state facilities? Who's going for those grants and those monies that are making it available? You want to triple our fees? I mean, that's crazy, because money's coming in. That money's supposed to be for Parks and Recreation, the Police Department, and the Fire Department. We've lost police officers. Where's their wages? Where's the Parks and Recreation director's wages? Where are those wages? We have the little girl softball was almost gone, but thank God Rusty Garcia went out and begged and borrowed, and then we have that. Are we going to lose, our tradition? I'm 64 years old. I've been playing in that park since I was 7. The softball league for 32 years. Now all of a sudden it's not in the budget? What else is not in the budget that has to do with Parks and Recreation? Is that the only thing you guys are cutting the heck out of? Because there's money coming in for them, so where's the money? That's our question. Where's the money? Where's it going?
Well, you want me?
You want to answer, or I don't mind. Okay.
Well, Ms. Lyons, we did have a budget meeting recently where we reviewed all our revenues and all our expenses. And unfortunately, there's less revenues and more expenses. And we're not just cutting Parks and Recreation. There's been cuts all the way across in all the different departments. But we're looking at the budget and trying to do the best we can to keep all the services that our community is used to. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that. We're not able to do that this year.
So what are we going to do to make more revenue? I mean, they're still building homes, so that's more utility tax.
Madam Mayor, maybe
Yes, go ahead.
I'd be happy to, maybe I'll volunteer myself, or if not, I know our Parks and Rec delegate also is there. I'd be happy to come, let's meet. I mean, it's a detailed discussion, and it's one we've had publicly, actually, over numerous workshops. So I'm not saying that, I understand not everybody hears all those details, but I'd love to answer those questions and go through it. They're not good answers, they're not fun, but you certainly deserve that, and I'd be willing to take the time to come sit down and go through that.
Well, we're all going to be there on the 24th again, where we're given the ultimatum: either pay $1,125 or don't have a league.
Well, you have two members over there that know me well. I'd be more than happy to come and go through not only that, but the other thing is kind of like Rusty did. Let's talk solution. I mean, let's figure out what we can figure out.
I still like to know where all the money is. That's our question. We know money's coming in. We know what's going on. We know that there's money to get from federal and state levels. Who's writing to get those grants if we don't have a Parks and Rec director?
The money is just simply as the mayor described, expenditures, and when I say expenditures, there's been unexpected expenditures over the past 3 to 4 years. We've described and discussed those in detail, and they're unfortunate because it's very important services like this that are really important to this council, this staff. I mean, we're with you.
I have another question for you. The people at the Cattle Call Arena that use the Cattle Call, do they pay for that? Or the non-residents charge $10 per person?
Yeah, well, there's
I mean, that's just
numerous
another
dollars
question.
that are
Yeah.
invested into that park
Right,
and
but
into
do they
that
pay
activity.
$10?
In some cases, they pay much more.
Okay, well, I would like to see that too.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'd be happy
seriously,
to.
I would like to see it. I
Madam
would,
Mayor.
because I'd like to know where it's going, because I know it's coming in. I know how much we pay, and sure, we know that you gotta go up with the cost of living, but to triple it?
I think it's also fair to say, because we wanted to echo this to the public too, not that this, again, none of this is a pleasurable, right, situation or discussion. I think Brawley's had a long tradition of keeping many of these fees, if at all, in existence, artificially low. And thank God, I'm glad we were able to do that for a number of years. It just got to a point where sustainability is an issue. It's not just softball, it's all across the board. It's right down to activities, events, road closures. And again, we've discussed this. I don't want you to think these discussions are happening in a vacuum. We have had these discussions over and over.
And really,
here in
over the
public
past
meetings.
24 months, we've had these discussions. And,
Yeah.
and certainly over the past 6 months, we've had multiple discussions regarding our budget, not just in Parks and Rec, but every single department, to include police department, fire department, public works, library services, and everything else. So I understand the frustration when you see the end result of our action, but really, it boils down to dollars and cents.
I understand.
And when costs are high, I can tell you this. It's much more expensive to operate the city and run the city today than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2
Correct.
years ago, right? And so that's part of what, but I'm in agreement with the Councilmember Warden. If we can work together to find a solution,
Well, that's
we're
why I said
open to
shimmy up,
that. Yeah.
not slap it on us.
Sure.
Let's work our way up.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at this for almost 2 weeks now. Not a single Parks and Recreation Department charges $1,100 for a league. Not a single one. And here's another thing, 4 nights a week at those parks, in that park, the revenue in this town for those stores and those restaurants, the sales and all that stuff, you're gonna lose all of that.
I think the best thing to do, obviously, the public comments, certainly, this is for all citizens to be able to come up and make comment, but let's have dialogue. I want to meet, and like I said, I know folks over there would be happy to do it. Yeah, I mean, I'll walk you through the same thing that I see, just individually as a council member, and see if we come to the same conclusion. If there's a better one, we're all ears.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Come on up, please. Please state your name and.
Vicky Hernandez. I just want to add to what Lori is trying to address here. Not only the fees that are going to be doubled, tripled. What we also want to propose, I guess Donnie had mentioned that we can meet and probably come up to some type, not totally get rid of the leagues, but maybe come up with a solution to maybe not get rid of it completely, but maybe come up to a solution to maybe not up the fees to triple, maybe a little higher. I mean, or maybe come up with something to where maybe we can have each player pay a fee. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's some kind of proposal that we can probably work out. Maybe we can talk about this later, but anyway, I mean, because this is, like Lori mentioned, is gonna hurt the revenue. I know budget issues, and I know that straight across that it does affect everybody all the way around, but that's why we're here, to support not only the city, I mean, it is gonna affect us, and that's why we're here to support not only each other, but just to voice our opinion and to let you guys know that it is gonna affect us all, so, you know, do we show up on the 24th, and or are we going to meet prior to that, or how's that going to work?
I would like to meet as soon as possible, other than I will be out. So I will contact, I mean, like I said, everyone has my number, so let's, by tomorrow, we'll figure out date, time. Yeah.
Okay, so will we be meeting with you directly, the board, or who
I'd
will
be
we
happy
be
to
meeting with?
have a budget discussion, yeah. So the 24th is Monday. Hopefully we can get that done, so maybe later this week we can get that done.
Okay, and meet, okay, perfect. So should we contact you, or who do we contact?
Contact me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky.
And from there, Councilmember Wharton would relay the information to us, and then
Yeah.
if we need to take action,
Yeah,
we'll go.
I'm
from
not,
there.
it's not a decision much as I will make sure I come and share all the same information in a nutshell, so that we all know the same thing. As the interest, group and party, I want
Right.
to make sure, we're, how we got to there.
Right.
And then where we go from there, we can have that discussion.
Okay,
obviously.
so, I'm sorry, Sam, go ahead. Were you
Are
gonna
we
say
also going to have the meeting on the 24th? That's
So,
correct, right?
There are copies up here if anybody hasn't gotten one, but in January, Parks and Recreation and I worked on a letter together to go out to stakeholders, and the intent was to describe the changes that were on the horizon and invite a discussion to talk about, does it make sense to suspend? Does it make sense to augment the approach in some other way, similar to what girls softball resulted in, was a combination of a fee increase that was not total cost recovery combined with some sponsorships. Really, the goal of the communication was to make everybody aware that there were potential changes, and that these changes, if you want to be part of looking at some different ways of approaching it, that there is a meeting scheduled, pre-scheduled for anybody who wants to be part of the discussion. So this meeting is scheduled to take place on February 24th at 5:30. And, we, from a staff point of view, we hope that the more information people have in their hands, the more they can be prepared to talk about what are solutions.
So Donnie can make a report on the 24th, maybe.
Right,
or
I would
whatever.
continue with the 24th, right? I think it would be important, but maybe I can get some more information to us as, group. You'll go in with a whole lot more information on the 24th. So, the whole idea being you can get to, if not by then, a solution.
Okay, so we will meet with you prior to the 24th, right? And then.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. Yeah.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
well, you're gonna try to do.
Yeah.
And then, so you're saying that on the 24th, is that gonna be the final decision? Is that what you're saying?
This is an opportunity, I think.
It's to participate in
Yeah.
a discussion.
And
So-
so,
can't
for a
make-
discussion, okay.
The approved budget as is does not have money
Yeah.
assumed.
Okay.
For the balanced budget that the council adopted.
Okay.
So, in order for adult softball to actually take place, we have to come up with an alternative scenario.
Okay.
Whether it's total cost recovery, partial, just as described, this kind of shimmying up the fees as opposed to all at once. So maybe there's some kind of an offset to the registration fees, or a conversion from team to per player. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas that are out there for how we could reach the same end goal, which is restoring the program.
Okay, so we still have hope. We can't throw it out the window yet, right? Is that what you're
No,
telling us?
and hopefully the memo that's presented is to show that there is a chance to look at solutions. It doesn't say it's the end of it,
Right.
period. It says, let's talk, because this is where we are from a financial point of view.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki.
If the timing works out, I'd be happy to be a part of that as the Parks and Rec liaison. And also, Donnie made a point that I think needs to really be expounded upon, which is that the fees have been kept artificially low for so many years. As Ms. Lyons was pointing out, she's been playing at these parks for decades.
Right.
And it's part of our way of life here. It's part of the quality of life that we have. And unfortunately, in the efforts of keeping that quality of life, we've kept those costs low.
Right.
And now we're at a point where we don't have anywhere else to trim. And now we've got to start increasing the fees for everything to get it up to close to cost recovery. And it's unfortunate because it's a blow kind of all at once. And I think going forward, what we need to do is implement some incremental increases every couple of years so that it's never this shock again in the future. We're keeping up with inflation and the rising costs of providing services.
And Mr. Hamby, I understand where you're coming from in that point, and we totally agree with that. But what we don't agree with is that jumping from $375 to $1,000 to $1,200 for our entry fee. That's what our argument is. That's a big jump for us. Yes, each team does have a sponsor, and yes, each team does. We do put money into playing every year, but from $375 to $1,000, that's a big jump for us, for every team.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, we do go out and get sponsors every year, and we do range from 14 to 16 teams every year. That's a lot of money to pay every year. I mean, and we don't mind to pay a little bit more per registration every year, but from $375 to $1,000, that's a big jump for us. But
If I may, just one point, Mr. Hernandez, for girls softball, the registration fee was $35. It's getting increased to $60. So with an offset to other contributions that have come forward. So kind of maybe changing the definition of per team to per player, maybe that helps. I'm not sure.
that's fine if that's an option. I mean that's.
With a
we
max
don't
number
mind.
of
I mean,
assigned
that's why,
players
like-
each team, maybe that's a better way to
Yeah, that's
to frame
fine.
it.
That's why, like Mr. Wharton said, let's talk about it. We just don't want it to get to the extreme like that. So, like he said, let's talk, and hopefully we can come up to a solution to where something can be resolved. Okay? Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Public comments? Please come up.
Everybody else is unloading, I know, might as well too.
Feel free.
Mark Gaddis, 121 North F, Imperial. I know the city is in financial hardships, and just wanted to make a point of opinion. Summer's just around the corner, and you're going to have some expenses coming up from the wonderful new, horrifically expensive water park, as well as your swimming pool. And over this past wonderful Monday holiday, it was a beautiful February, and in El Centro I took my grandkids to the multi-million-dollar skate park, and it was closed because the city of El Centro didn't have a city employee on hand. The last time I took them there on a holiday weekend, it was also closed, but the local kids knew of a loose piece of fence that they would lift up and come under here, come under here. Probably 50 kids were in there playing, so we went under the fence and the kids rode, but this time that part got fixed. So the entire thing was shut down. No kids were able to use it on a beautiful holiday Monday. And I hope that doesn't happen this summer. Just looking ahead for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further public comments, we'll go ahead and move on to item 2A, introduction of interim police chief Scott Shepard by City Manager Rosanna Bayonne-Moore.
So it is my pleasure this evening to introduce to you Scott Shepard. Scott will be serving as our interim police chief. He comes to us from the County of Imperial Sheriff's Department with about 22 years of experience across a range of divisions within the Sheriff's Department, brings an incredible wealth of knowledge. We're fortunate for the chance to work with him during this interim period and thought it would be helpful to bring him to the meeting this evening, give him a chance to introduce himself to the body as well and to the public at large.
Okay. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. Thank you.
Welcome.
I met most of you, well, everyone up here, except for our city attorney last week, and pleasure to meet you guys. And I've been job shadowing Chief Robert Sawyer for the past 3 weeks with the absence of a training that I attended. But I've met most of the Brawley Police Department staff and great people. And I'm super excited to be here. Many years ago, 2006, I was an interim police chief in Hopeville. So hopefully trying to convince our current staff of some of the anxiety of why I'm here, what motivations might be, what my role is. I've experienced this before, and I'm going to do everything I can to continue with the excellent job that Chief Sawyer was doing. As you'll see later on in the agenda, there's some really important equipment items that he was able to obtain through grant funding. And I just want to keep the department going in the direction they're going. We have good people, and I'm excited to be here and help in any way I can help.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Again.
Welcome.
Anybody else? Good? Good? Okay. Okay, we're going to go on to item 2B, introduction of a management analyst, Sylvia Luna, by Finance Director Tyler Salcido.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members. It's my pleasure today to introduce Sylvia Luna, the new management analyst. Sylvia holds bachelor degrees in international accountancy, a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and she just recently obtained her MBA in finance. She started her career with Honeywell International as part of their finance team, gaining experience on manufacturing cost accounting, forecasting, budget preparation, and she acquired the Six Sigma methodology certification while she was there. Later in her career, Sylvia went to work for El Centro Regional Medical Center as a budget analyst and was eventually promoted to controller, where she provided support on monthly financial statements, the annual financial audit, the hospital's budget, among many other special duties and special projects. She onboarded with the city last week and has hit the ground running. I anticipate that she will be a tremendous asset to the city of Brawley for many years to come, and we're glad to have her in the finance and maintenance departments. Sylvia?
Well, good evening. I just would like to thank you for the opportunity. I'm super excited about my new role and the challenges to come. This is the first time I work for a public organization, so I'm just happy to hear and ready to contribute with my knowledge and my hard work.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tyler.
Okay, moving on to item C, update on the Census 2020 complete count effort by Comité Cívico del Valle. Do we have a representative?
We don't. I'm going to send a quick text to their office and see if they're still there. Maybe it slipped from their calendar.
Okay, so we can come back to that.
They're counting right now.
They're counting right now?
They're
Okay.
counting the censuses. What's going on?
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Items are approved by one motion. Council members or members of the public may request consent items be considered separately at a time determined by the mayor.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to regular business. Item 4A, discussion and potential action to authorize the Consulate of Mexico to offer mobile consulate services at the main branch library located at 400 Main Street on Saturday, February 22nd, and Saturday, October 24th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Backup is on pages 57 through 59, and we have Marjo Mello reporting on this.
Yes, and I'm wearing my library hat and my
you?
scheduling Parks and Rec hat.
Half and half.
Half and half,
Half
yes.
and half,
I do need to get one
You
that I
get
can,
one of them with
Turn
Bill
around.
over here and one here.
Bill's
Yeah,
on
know?
both
that would be
sides.
fun.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get you one.
okay,
Okay.
thank you. Anyway, this will be I think it's the 4th year that we've had the consulate come. Our first one was at the Del Rio branch, and since then we've been moving it to the main library, and it has worked out wonderfully for us. We've always been able to issue a few new library cards. Community members become more aware of the library, and a lot of people come in and get services that they need for the Consulado Móvil, which just means mobile. So they come visit us. They come in Friday and make sure all their technical stuff is ready to go with the computers, and then they are there Saturday, and they just do a great job, and staff actually enjoy having them there.
I've had positive comments from members of the public.
Not a bad
with respect, and then plus, I do plan on being there if this moves forward, so.
Good.
Do you know what kind of numbers they have more or less?
They have 40 people waiting in chairs, which
Wow.
is cool, because I will tell the fire department we have a bigger capacity than that, so
Right.
so we're safe.
didn't hear that?
Yeah, okay, good, he stepped out. No, but we do.
Yeah.
But we do. And it is busy all day. They create appointments, and then they also have one person set aside for walk-ins. So people just keep going through for appointments, and then the walk-ins can also be helped. And they have such a great system that they just go clear up till their time.
Okay.
So it works out really well.
Great.
And because it's in the library, we have like books for kids to look at. We have color sheets that we put at the end of the kids' room. So some of them also get a little bit of entertainment. If staff has time, they'll go back and read a story. And staff is bilingual pretty much, except for one, not me. So we do pretty well with the people who come visit.
Okay. So Mr. Navarrete Montes de Oca, the consul, sent a letter to my attention requesting the use of the facility. Did you want to cover that, Marjo?
Sure. The reason that they're asking for co-sponsorship is so that they don't actually need to pay the insurance fee that might be charged for that, so that it's a city function as well as their function. And at the library, we traditionally don't charge use fees compared to the other facilities in the city, except we do look at the insurance. So this would be a waiver for insurance for them.
Okay.
And ours would cover.
So we need a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve this item.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Councilman Nava and seconded by Councilman Wharton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you, Marjo.
Come
Thanks,
come
Marjo.
visit us.
We will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Try to stay in there, right? I'm excited.
Doesn't Marjo,
Okay.
Is it Marjo?
Marjo doesn't get
Marjo,
to
is
stay.
So
that-
the next one's
Are
yours?
you next?
It's okay.
Next one.
Marjo, I can handle it for you.
Okay.
This is the Brawley Chamber of Commerce request to consider the sale and consumption of alcohol on public property, generally described as North Plaza Park, for April 4th, 2020, from 5 to 9 p.m. In the backup, Marjo, I added this item to the agenda at the last minute while you were out late last week, so my apologies.
Since I can't read well, I appreciate that.
So included in page 60 through 63,
Provide
you will
Taco
see the
Fest.
letter of request from the Brawley Chamber. This is for the Imperial Valley Taco Fest to take place in downtown Brawley. And we are in active dialogue with the chamber on the road closure, logistics, as well as costs that the city will be incurring from a staffing point of view. And we're well aligned to successfully pull off the event. So excited to report that, and tonight looking for the council's permission to allow for the sale and consumption of alcohol on public property.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, one nay, and any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries with 4-1.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, and that's with the $500 that will be paid for the,
The road
Road
closure
closure.
fee, the minimum road closure fee will be
Yes.
paid, yes.
thank you. Okay, moving on to item 4C, discussion and potential action to authorize professional engineering services with Lee and Rowe Engineering Incorporated to prepare design of emergency generator power wastewater treatment plant headwork system in the amount not to exceed $59,657. Backup is on pages 64 through 79. And we have Mr. Guillermo.
Good evening, Mrs. Mayor and members of the council. Guillermo Sillas, Public Works Director. This item is to provide professional engineering services to design emergency power generator and system to the headworks at the wastewater treatment plant that initially, when it was designed, it wasn't included because it was not considered probably at that time as critical. There's other components that includes this emergency power in case of a power failure. So in the last 8 years, we had 2 events where the power was lost, and there were some overflow that caused wastewater to be in the surrounding areas. So staff is recommending to include or design this system to prevent any of those and be in compliance with our permits. It is a staff recommendation to hire Lee and Rowe to perform this analysis and design in the amount of almost $60,000 from the wastewater treatment fund. Any questions?
Well, I think if Truman were here to explain it to us in plain English,
Right,
it'd probably
right.
be easier to understand, but there's a lot of technical information here. I am glad to see that there is a Vortex grit tank that's going to be changed out, looking at the backup material.
Isn't every
It's expensive,
So
but I know
pretty
it's
much
needed.
it is like when you put something on your sink to prevent that the small pieces go through, but the sink will be the big wastewater treatment plant, and you will be putting something that will work with power to prevent that those solids go through and plug the system and
Then back it
spill.
up.
Right.
Then back
Yeah.
it up,
So
right.
Truman would be proud of you. That was
Is
a
that-
good,
That was,
good
Is that kind
explanation.
of when your garbage disposal, you put too much stuff and it
Yeah,
backs
yeah,
up?
that's it.
Exactly.
That's
it.
exactly what I
Yeah,
did.
and
That's it.
what happened if you're
Worse than that, though, because this
if your
isn't garbage disposal.
your grinding device
Right.
is not working,
Right.
so it's going to
Yeah.
spill. So exactly the same
like a
thing.
basement toilet, right?
Yeah, got one of those.
Okay,
one.
thank you. Thank you, Guillermo. Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Motion to
I'll
approve.
second.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Councilman
Couchman.
Couchman and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Hamby. These are tongue twisters.
I know.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guillermo. Okay, then the next one is going to be our new interim chief on item 4D. Discussion and potential action to adopt Resolution 2020, resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley authorizing the purchase of Nighthawk handheld backscatter device with on-site training in the amount of $47,948.75. 100% reimbursable through Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces, or SLOT funds. Back up on pages 80 through 96. We're ready for your explanation of this equipment.
Okay, thank you. So there's actually 3 total items, but I kind of want to talk to a little bit about them as a group when it comes to the importance of all 3. These items will not only make officers safer, they'll make the community safer, they will enable us to detect crime, and they will allow us and give us the ability to solve crime. And I think those are four of the most important things that we do as law enforcement. So this first item, it detects concealed threats, primarily in vehicles, and it's a portable X-ray machine. So it's not uncommon to our profession. It's just really uncommon to most budgets. It's going to be a great tool to be used by not only our agency but our neighboring agencies as well.
Super.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions regarding the equipment?
Chief, those are just deployed as needed. It's not something that's just constantly running.
Correct. It's only for a call. So as a general rule, we'd like to have it in the trunk of the patrol car, maybe with the supervisor as they go and respond to calls that the officers are on.
Gotcha. Good deal.
So they'll be available to the police officers at all times. It's not for Narcotics Task Force events. It's just, it'll be available.
For both, yeah. Okay. So it'll be assigned here with the Brawley Patrol Division, but if they're asked to help out in Westmoreland and Calpat, of course, they'll have to come get it themselves. But we're more, it's really designed for the whole north end, but we're lucky enough to be housing it here at the Brawley Police Department. So it'll be shuttled to whatever need it has, but it will be housed in our station, so it'll be a good tool.
Okay. All right. Call for the question. Motion?
Make a motion to approve the item.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay, and then the next one, they're all related, so did we want to make, the next three items were all part of that package, right?
The funding source, I believe, requires individual resolutions authorizing, so.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and move forward. With the next one is a discussion and potential action to adopt a resolution 2020. Resolution of City Council, City of Brawley, authorizing the purchase of 8 flock safety license plate recognition cameras and a 24-month software support for the Brawley Police Department at a total cost of $32,000, 100% reimbursable through the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, slot funds, and federal asset forfeiture funds. And the backup is on pages 97 through 130. Any further explanation? Does anyone want any more information on it, on this item?
I think we previously had some discussion on this item, and I think
Okay.
we've all pretty much been in
Okay.
agreement on this.
Make a motion to approve the item.
Okay, motion by
Second.
Council, okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Did you get the names?
George Nava and Donnie Wharton,
Okay.
first and second, right?
All right. Moving on to item F, discussion and potential action to adopt resolution 2020, resolution of the City Council of City of Brawley, authorizing the purchase of the RU2 Systems Message speed trailer equipped with advanced license plate reader cameras from Vigilant Solutions in the amount of $52,414.32, 100% reimbursable through the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force's slot funds, and backup is on pages 131 through 142. And this is also related to that subject, so unless anyone has any further questions, I'm looking for a motion.
Madam Mayor, as we're making the motion, I'd also further want to thank staff and behind you, our interim chief, as he mentioned, the work that Chief Sawyer did, but certainly our command staff as well in bringing this equipment. So happy to report this and make these decisions tonight to bring this stuff and this technology to the department. So well done.
Okay.
I do have one question. Is this? It says it's got a license plate reader and speed camera. So is this going to be to like write speeding tickets automatically to people, or is this just to?
It is a trailer that sometimes you see them fixed in cities and rural areas both, and this one's mobile. Obviously, we can put it from one corner to the other, but it's primarily designed to slow people down. And there's been lots of studies, and it works.
Yeah,
It's awareness raising.
Councilmember Calhoun likes to speed up to see how
Yeah.
Or he can get that.
No, I've
But-
slowed down a
yeah,
lot in
yeah.
my
Good
older
stuff.
years. Yes.
Well, like through Imperial, I go 60 until I get to that
That
trailer,
sign
and
that
then I
says-
slow
Yeah,
down
no,
to
no.
45,
43.
yeah.
Yeah, but I can't get down to 45.
It
That's
knows
the
you by
problem.
name, though. That's the weird part, though.
So
Can't
that's
get down
what,
to
it- basically, that's
45
what it
miles
would,
from
it looks
town,
like.
you know.
that
Yes,
trailer.
and it has its own source of generating power, and so it can go anywhere, any corner, any location.
Okay.
And it can also, we can also use it as a traffic control sign or warning of whether it's an Amber
Hazards
Alert
or-
or anything that we're wanting to warn the public about, to be
Okay.
aware of, so.
We have gotten complaints from the public on certain streets where people do speed and run the stop signs and all that type of thing. It might be nice to put this in those locations. That way you don't have to necessarily put a police car there, but you put something that might slow them
Put
down
that
a little
reminder
bit.
that
I don't know that it
speed
will,
limit.
but it might.
That's true.
That's the goal.
Okay.
Good.
I think Lori Lyons has made a complaint about that once or twice.
Your street, you want it on your
One-
street?
Main Street, my street is the highway.
But, I'm sorry, what
Okay,
street
well,
is
that'll
that,
work.
Lori?
H Street,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's like a go-between. And
Okay.
then Julia, I think, gets some issues, and then I think there's
also, I got
another
complaints
street
about
over by
Fifth.
the Stockman's Club that they get some problems too.
So there's plenty of streets, I guess, that.
Yeah, there's plenty of
it'll-
streets
it'll
where
be
we've had
useful.
some complaints. So I make the motion that
Okay.
we support this.
Okay, so I make the motion, a
Second the
second?
motion.
Second by Councilman Nava. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Good job on there.
We won't call you
Yeah.
interim, we'll just call you Chief, that's easier.
It's easier. It's easier.
Okay, moving on to item G, discussion and potential action to approve the fiscal calendar 2020-2021 budget calendar, page 143. Rosanna?
Yes, included in the backup is a framework for the upcoming 2020-2021 budget process.
Can you say that again?
2020,
That's another
2021.
That was another tongue twister.
Typically, the mid-year budget review is our starting point for next year. So we've completed that milestone on February 4th, and we are looking to the council for your input and direction on how you would like to set the schedule for strategic planning, general fund, enterprise, and special fund workshops with the end goal of adopting the budget before the end of the fiscal year at the last meeting in June, which is the 16th. Through the years, the council has chosen a variety of methods to accomplishing these goals, including standalone meetings or combined with regular meetings and a light agenda. We've also varied the meeting location upon the request of the council as well. So however you wish, we're here to take your direction.
Would, just a suggestion, the second meeting in March, could we expand our regular meeting that day? Or, I know we've done that in the past.
As you wish.
Is that something that we can do?
I would like to chime in. I was going to make a comment about the first meeting in March might be a little difficult for me if we
Yes.
wanted to expand that one. So that second meeting would definitely be
The second-
amenable to me if we wanted
17.
to start earlier or
That is
expand that
St.
meeting.
And Patrick's Day.
That is St. Patrick's
Are you gonna
Day,
be
but it's
wearing
not a
green that
major
day?
holiday. I think we should all be wearing
To
green. You're gonna
celebrate
get
St.
pinched.
Patrick's Day here, that won't be
Huh?
able to stay for a late meeting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the
I don't
17th.
really.
I think the 17th would be doable. Is that,
What time would be,
I think we should meet
could start
earlier, though, if
earlier.
we're going to meet quite a bit earlier if we're
About 4
going to do
o'clock?
all of that.
As you wish.
we could start the meeting at 4 o'clock on the 17th? Is everybody
Yes,
okay with
that's
that?
fine.
You're talking about doing the strategic planning session before the
Yes.
actual meeting?
Yes.
And then have the council meeting
Have
after?
several hours.
I think
or-
that'll
And-
give us 2 hours.
and then we could have the official start time at 6, so in case we didn't use this full 2
Yeah.
hours, we could take a break and then
Okay.
start the meeting at 6. Would that
And
work?
where would you like the meeting location?
I would say here.
Yeah.
You think
I
there'll be
think
a
for the
lot of
first one?
input from people? I don't see it for the strategic, maybe for the general fund, we might want to
Right.
look at options for that one.
Yeah, maybe the library or something.
But the March meeting, strategic planning, generally, we don't see a lot of input from the public, but on general fund, we might.
I mean, if we do have it here, like we've had it in the past, Rosanna, maybe you were able to help facilitate with some whiteboards and, you know, just some other areas when because this is our opportunity to throw ideas out and kind of shape the direction of where we're going. So if you get it here, just bring a few visual aids like that might be helpful.
So if I hear the direction properly, it's an earlier start time in this venue, running it 4 to 6 at the longest end with a 6 p.m. start time for regular business.
Or if we could start it, just round table it over at the EOC.
Yeah.
We have the board there, and then
come
have
over.
the meeting, the regular meeting here. That might be something,
do
just
that.
because it's probably easier to facilitate.
Over
the
there,
It's a
strategic
different
part.
type of
Yeah.
space, for
That
sure.
is more of a learning space, so.
And
4
if you
o'clock,
did have
2 hours,
public,
do you
then
think
they'd
is
have a better
enough
Yeah.
time?
view to sitting down
We
and
could
watching
always
over
continue it to a subsequent date if it isn't adequate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll do
All
that.
right,
EOC for the first half and then regular meeting here in council
Yeah.
chambers.
that'll do.
Shorts.
Okay,
On March 24th.
Okay.
No, March 17th.
That's 17.
and then you want to set the date for the April meeting too?
The general fund workshop would be great if you can provide some dates that might work for you as a group.
I don't know about that one.
First Tuesday is the 7th.
Let's
Do we
see.
want to have it also on the same day as a regular meeting, or do you prefer to have that as a
It's up to you
separate
guys.
one?
The general fund usually is a bigger discussion.
Yeah.
So,
But if we start 2 hours early, usually you get most of that done, but it just depends.
Yeah, it's just if we have it at a different location, you know, getting over here
Yes.
in time for a meeting.
you want to try the same thing? Try it at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, or 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock?
What date are we gonna use? The
Well,
7th or the 21st?
I was looking at the 7th.
That only gives you about 2 weeks from the other meeting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
That's
that
too
enough
short.
time to,
That's Tyler, where's Tyler?
Tyler's the one that's kind of under the gun here.
If I had my preference, I prefer the second meeting in April, but
Okay.
whatever you guys want, we'll
The
make it work.
21st?
We'll make it work.
That's fine then, let's
I think
go
the
with the second.
21st gives them more time to prepare for
As you
that.
said, the general fund requires
That's
a
a
lot of
bigger, that's a
extra.
bigger issue than the other ones. The other ones
Would
are
there be,
probably-
let's say we went with the 21st, but given
Mhm.
that a little bit more of a berth as far as time, maybe whether it's here or EOC, but let's say it's here, starting at 3, if we finish early, we break and
Yeah.
then begin our
Yeah.
meeting. So it's really just taking that portion
We
of the
could begin
afternoon.
at 3.
I think,
I can-
I think we probably
I
do
don't know
need
about
it
you.
a
Is that
little
Sunday,
bit more time.
2:59?
Right.
Maybe at 3 o'clock
Mhm.
start. and
that works for me.
Does that work for
April
everybody?
21st?
Okay,
Yeah.
April
Sam says he
21st
can
at
be here
3,
2:59.
EOC, and then our regular meeting at 6.
And your preference is definitely that the business items are happening earlier in the day, or I'm sorry, later, at the later time? I wonder if there's public participation, if the afternoon meetings,
Yeah.
if you reversed it and did regular business early, I don't know. Just a suggestion for consideration.
Press
I
isn't
mean,
here
if-
to talk, comment, so I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like everything we've
Yeah.
tried, that continues to be an issue, but bringing up that point.
I don't
The-
know.
The other thing is, which I know we've done in the past, is just have a standalone
The only thing I would do is
Meeting.
maybe for,
general fund.
maybe for general fund, we have a standalone meeting on another day at a 6 PM time so that everybody can attend and we get everything out of the way. And if there's any question, I mean, we have some ladies here that talking about general fund. I mean, if they come to that meeting, it'd probably be better if they're not
I
working.
think that's a good point, maybe having a standalone,
Yeah.
if we don't couple
The
it with
general
something.
fund.
We want to do a different, another date
What,
then?
In an
what,
evening.
but it would still be in the later part of the month.
April,
April,
how about the
yes.
28th?
That'd be, yeah, my preference.
28th?
I have another
Okay.
meeting at the same time.
Oh,
27th?
27th works.
In the evening?
27th would work for me. In the
27th?
evening.
Okay, 27th.
What time would you
Is
like it
band
at?
practice that day, Luke? No?
6 PM?
6
6 PM I think is better for the public. I mean, if
Mhm.
that's what we,
Well, that's
that's
the-
what we're striving for.
The time that they're used to, and when we change the time, it kind of throws
Yeah,
people off
everybody
sometimes.
goes kind of, well, especially for general fund where I think the public might have more input this year than they have in previous years.
And if you have it in this venue, it can be recorded and taped because of the mics and it's
That might be
easy
a good
setup.
idea.
If your preference is a more relaxed setting, then we can look for more flexible space if you'd like.
How many public do you think we'll have for general fund? A lot? We don't know. We really don't know. It's hard to
Not
call.
sure.
Might have a lot, might not have very many.
I think That sounds good. The 27th, 6 p.m. Plenty of time to notice and, get word out.
All right.
Council chambers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes.
I would continue
It's a
to
Monday.
encourage any
April
members of the public
27th,
here that
Monday.
had maybe even broached some of the budget issues to be at these meetings. So then that's where you hear
Yeah.
the details
They're- Yeah.
That works.
Because.
and
yeah,
have
like you
input
said,
on the
mhm.
details.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they'll have the other issue resolved by then.
Well, of course, but
Yeah.
there's
For
always the future.
Yes. Okay. Then moving on to May.
I think that one we can couple. I think
yes.
generally
With-
speaking.
with a
the
regular meeting?
enterprise,
Yeah, that one's.
It's just a matter of whichever one.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my opinion.
I think
I
so.
kind of tend to agree.
So should we go ahead and
Remember,
do?
you guys are
you
gonna be
gonna
gone.
ready?
You guys are
by-
gonna be gone to
Oh,
some
that's
meeting
true,
though,
that's
right?
true.
For SCAG.
Oh,
Maybe
okay, wait.
in May?
Yeah.
Gag.
What,
So look at
Southern
the second.
I
California.
have
California.
a,
Thursday.
it has to be the third Tuesday for me because I'm gone the second week for a county.
So May 19th?
May
The
19th?
19th, yeah.
May
A 5
19th?
o'clock
Perfect.
start.
Five,
Would that
yeah,
work? Yeah.
that should work.
5 p.m.
Skag is when?
SCAG is
Sixth
the
through the
6th through the 8th.
6th, 7th,
Yeah,
and
May
8th.
19th, 5, that started 5.
And the day before that, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's
Okay,
on the
Always
so-
is.
We're
It's on the
having a
5th of
meeting
May.
that day.
Yeah, because I put that on my calendar.
5
like you're saying,
p.m.
why is it
meeting?
highlighted?
5 p.m.?
Make sure and get me.
5
for
p.m. on
Skag.
the
5 p.m.
19th.
All right.
I think I'm reimbursed. I think, right? As a delegate. Yeah.
Okay.
You are.
And then for the, just for your information, I will be out the week of the 12th through the 15th of May.
Of May.
Okay.
Okay. Are you done with the calendar? Is that
Yes,
good?
ma'am. Thank you for the input.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to departmental reports. Update by Public Works Director Guillermo Cias. On the emergency construction at the Brawley Water Treatment Plant to replace components of 2 sedimentation basins.
Good evening again. Regarding this project, last week the contractor started to install the components, which were anchors and some of the bars at the bottom and flights for the removal of the sludge at the sedimentation basin. This week they will continue to do the same activity, and they are moving very quick, so we are hoping that they will be able to recover and to finish the project, if not on time, very close to the original date.
When do you foresee that?
I have a revised schedule for the last test on April 30th. That's the last revised schedule that we have.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That would be great.
Thank you, Guillermo.
Okay, moving on to item 6, informational reports. Record of building permits for January 2020 in the city of Brawley, prepared by Oscar Escalante, interim building official, back up on pages 144 through 145.
So in the backup, you'll find just the kind of snapshot of building permits over a 1 month cycle. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Any questions, anyone? Okay, I think we have our representative from Comité Cívico del Valle here, Miguel
Yes.
Hernandez. An update on the Census 2020 complete count effort by Comité Cívico del Valle. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, and apologies if I'm a little late. But yes, I wanted to update the council members on these efforts that we have in partnership also with City of Brawley, Campesinos Unidos, and many others throughout the county, but specifically to Brawley. Those are 2 of our main partners. Also, Mr. Ron Hall got the schools. He's very supportive of our efforts too. And just wanted to let you know that we kicked off our volunteer campaign. We have a group of volunteers knocking on doors during regular business hours before day goes out. And on weekends, we only have some like booth setups on parks. We don't knock on doors. We don't want to be annoying anyone. especially on Sunday. So those efforts have already started since about a month ago, and they will keep on happening throughout the month. Knocking on doors will be until March 12th. That's actually the time they should be getting the actual census questionnaire. The residents are first to respond using an online form, which is sort of a barrier for our community. That's where we're knocking on doors beforehand, so to let them know that's coming up, and if they need any assistance filling out the survey online, we could redirect them to Campesinos Unidos, which they're gonna have an informational kiosk there and support the answering that survey, and also the youth and especially students will be a key component to replying to those to that census questionnaire. They might not be the ones, actually they're not the ones to respond to the survey, but they are the ones that could facilitate to their parents, or if they don't have a computer or something, we can refer them to the library or any other or Campesino, so they can do that for them. And we also have a campaign, or actually a little short campaign that went out last week on some bills that the city sends out to our residents. 5,000 bill inserts were in there. I don't know exactly when that gets delivered, but hopefully that's within this week. Yeah. So some of our residents might be receiving that through mail, and additional to the volunteer support, the actual knocking on doors. Same material that we deliver is pretty much an overview of what the census is, what it represents, the importance of them contributing to the census, and the importance of having a complete and accurate count. Additionally, I want to mention about an event that we're going to have on April 1st at the Kiwanis kiosk. We're still working on those paperwork and everything to get that reserved and everything squared away. It's about a 2-3 hour event, 3 to 5-ish. It's a census day. April 1st is census day throughout the nation. So we want to do a little like a block party per se for our community. We want to invite others. We're going to have games. We're going to have some activities, everything in regards to the census. We want to have some entertainment, a mariachi or something in those regards, so we can have a meaningful convening.
April Fool's
census count. Just kidding.
I know. Yeah, it's actually kind of weird that they picked April 1st, but that's a national thing.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason.
There's a reason.
They actually have a slogan like "Don't be full, get counted," or "Be
There you
counted,"
go.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's it. See, then there's a.
Yeah. So
We are hoping to offer some space for banners to hang in really visible places on the plaza. So it would be either this building or across the way between the finance department and main branch library. But looking for ways to kind of get people focused. We'll also have a series of text messages as the date approaches.
And then, I'm just thinking of the downtown event with Sister Chavez. That's a good time to.
Exactly. Yeah, it was actually Comité Cívico is partnering up with Amigos de la Comunidad that will be hosting this event, and the census will be mentioned then. We're going to promote this event too. Leverage all of our efforts to make a stronger event. We're going to have for that Cesar Chavez event, we're going to have also our census banners, have messaging about the importance of the census, and continue kind of tying everything together, like so they can get the message from all over the place.
Just go on stage and tell everybody, "Don't move. We're going to count you right now."
Right? Yeah.
Nobody move.
It'd be a lot easier.
Right?
They've done that way.
Yeah, probably.
But
Yeah, and additional to that, considering about the head counts, they did that with the point in time count for the homeless.
Right.
Not too long ago, about a month ago, I would say. And keep looking forward to have this event have a strong turnout, and this campaign will go throughout the course of March, April, and mid-May. We will be, even though we might not be knocking on doors, we'll still have community booths out there in case community has questions, and provide them support if they have any. Also, we offer our office if they have any other questions, and I think it's really coming together. It's such a little turnaround for the time that we have to work, and it's a lot of effort. Our volunteers have been really been supportive of this, and having that civic engagement. We have a big group of youth that was part of this volunteer group, and we're still actually we are gonna have our third cohort this upcoming Saturday at our office. This group will be about 15 volunteers. We give them a training as like Census 101, same thing that we provide to the community, but more into like a deeper conversation into what's really the importance of it, how can they engage with conversations with our community, and also like safety procedures if they see a dog, like just don't go into the house and things like that to protect themselves. We provide them a hat, a shirt, sort of a uniform with their badge and everything, for them to be comfortable out there and, be familiar faces within our community. We actually have this campaign going throughout the county. However, we do keep our volunteers, whoever that live here in Brawley, knocking on doors here in Brawley, so they have that familiar face, so we don't have, not that is wrong, but, also accommodating, not for them to travel from here to Calexico or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, and just if I may add just an additional comment, there's a planning grant available that Comité Cívico is considering applying. It's with the Strategic Growth Council, and it's for again for planning. So part of this grant, we have to partner up again with the government entity, and Comité Cívico is considering partnering up with the city of Brawley, if that was of interest to you guys. And we can, have a complete conversation and a presentation about this upcoming grant, and looking forward to your support. Do you have more details? Thank you.
I have a question for you with respect to the census, and maybe this is not the area you work in, but is there, because I've heard different dollar figures, but is there a dollar figure for every person that maybe is not counted? How is that determined, and how over what course of time?
Right. So there is an estimated amount of money from $1,500 up to $2,000 per person that doesn't get counted. So that's in the course of the year, of the 10-year that the census takes to take place again. Also, the persons that get born in between, they don't get counted, they still use our services, libraries, hospitals, and all of that. However, there's an estimated count that throughout the county, we have encountered about 65 to 70,000 people that don't respond or reply to the survey. So if you make that simple math, times 2, I would say 140,000 a year, and that's for the course of 10 years. So, a little less than $1.5 million, some more or less.
Sure.
So that's, I don't know exactly how they come up with this $2,000, what the calculation is, but that's how the federal government allocates monies per person.
And because I've heard higher figures, maybe they're referring to the 10 years in total or what it is, but I appreciate the information.
And what has been the feedback from the volunteers that have gone out? Are people generally answering the doors, or have you gotten any feedback on that?
Yeah, actually more positive than negative, but also they've mentioned there's people that don't really want to deal with it, IRS has all our information, we pay our taxes, we do this. Well, part of the education that we provide to the community is to answer these questions and make sure that they see the importance of them getting counted. We try to tie it in if we have a child under 5 that might be needing childcare services that will need funding for them to take care of that child, or other services that we can tie into the conversation that we're having with them, so they can be encouraged to participate, and also clear those misunderstanding or rumors or false information that might be out there.
And if they don't answer the door, they go back? Do they keep track and then go back to that residence, or how do they?
We gave them a door hanger.
Okay.
How companies do when you knock on the doors and they leave behind a door hanger. We leave that, and then we follow up. If do that same round, in a couple of hours or something, we go back. We'll still give it a second chance, but we don't like to be knocking on doors that many times in a single household.
All right. Okay. Any questions?
They're looking out there no, we're still not home.
Well, with the door hanger, maybe if you come back, they'll know what it's about. Does it have a phone number to call?
And on our door hangers, it has the census basics, and it also has contact information for our website or social media page and all of that.
Okay.
If they have any further questions.
And this year we can complete it online?
Yes, actually, the nationwide they're trying to push it for it to be filled online. However, our community it's
not
part
an
of its
online
barriers that there's either low broadband connectivity or there's computer literacy. There's many different factors that play a role on this. So I don't know if that might be a benefit to our community or more of a barrier per se. But you know, that's why we're trying to do here: educate them and try to figure out these necessities that we could identify beforehand, so we can accommodate or make it a little bit easier on them.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
the report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I guess Rosanna will, if you contact Rosanna regarding that grant application. Okay. Thank you.
You take Sam with you door to door and just say, Uncle Sam needs
Uncle
to know your
Sam's here.
information.
Uncle Sam's here. We want
I
you.
don't think so.
Where are we?
You could just say, we want you.
No, I don't think Sam wants to go door to door.
Okay, moving on
I'll
to
take Luke with
item
me.
7, city treasurer report. He already reported quite a bit. Do you have anything else, Tyler, to report?
No.
Okay. Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to city council member reports, and we'll go ahead and start with council member Couchman.
Okay, not too much. Elks, I attended the Elks Drawdown Dinner the last weekend. It was well attended. It was the largest attendance I think I've seen at that event. A lot of people buy tickets, but they don't always go. The kitchen fundraiser, they bake goods and they fix food and they sell it in the Pioneers Memorial Hospital auditorium for, I think it's twice a year, and they sold out within an hour and a half. And most of the buyers are the employees in that area, either through the doctors or the hospital, and they come over and they buy all this stuff. So I did help them with that. And I also met with our auditors here recently. They interviewed me regarding the city's finances and that type of thing. So I did meet with them briefly and gave them information or whatever and answered their questions. And I think everything's going to be pretty good with that. Okay. And so that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Nava?
Are they working on your warrant currently?
The warrant, yeah, no, it's yours. I've asked for immunity.
You got to do it first, huh? That's good.
You like that one?
He jumped right
I like
at it.
I liked it. Yep. All right, so I was able to attend the State of the County address. I thought that was a nice event out in front of the courthouse. And that was well attended and I think well covered, and some, interesting items that are taking place within the county. Some things that are taking place within the county that aren't being mentioned, but hey, I guess that's part of the show too. So also, more on a personal but community level too, Mary Miller. We know Mary Miller from Superior Furniture so many years, and she turned 80 years old recently, and she had a birthday party. I was fortunate to be invited and attended with her and her family members. But, she's committed so much time to the city of Brawley, not just with her business, but I've spent, well over a decade working alongside her in different committees, and she's always doing something. So it was great to see her, just being appreciated by her family, and I really enjoyed spending time with her. So she's a good person. I love being around her. So anyway, I thought I'd mention it because it's a big milestone for her. And, even after her building burned down after decades of use there, she continued. She's still in business. So couldn't knock her down. That's good. Also attended a very brief dedication ceremony at Spreckles Sugar right outside of Brawley. And that was by a fraternal organization that made it a historical site. And there's a plaque and an announcement out there. It wasn't very long of a presentation, but it was still nice to see that that industry is being recognized. It's a high-producing plant. It's the only operating sugar refinery that's left in California. So those are interesting points. And the other thing, too, is you don't have too many industries, at least here in Imperial County, where you have really the raw from seed to final product, within that plant. So it comes out sugar. So, and they have other materials that they make from the sugar beets as well. But unlike other areas of the country where they can stockpile sugar beets here, if during the summer months when they're transporting, trucks are lined up because they have to process them as they come in, because of the heat. Otherwise, they'd rot. So anyway, just, it's great to see that industry. I'll tell you, part of that industry helped support me through college, and it supported my family and everybody else. So good stuff. ICAOR, which is the Imperial County Association of Realtors, they once again met here at the Stockman's Club in Brawley. I think maybe there's a little bit of a missed opportunity. We have to be able to do something with this group. There's a lot of people in real estate. They represent, really millions of dollars of investment throughout the valley. And I think we maybe should take maybe a greater effort in educating them on some of the things that are taking place within the city of Brawley. I think there's an opportunity to do that, and I just want to make sure that we're able to capitalize on that opportunity soon. That's it for now. I just want to thank everybody for your hard work and support, and welcome, Chief, to the city of Brawley, and we look forward to working with you, and thanks again, everybody.
Thank you. I do not have a whole lot to report because of some out-of-town travel, but I will mention, I like to highlight this every year. I did attend an annual get-together, a social event for the National Navy Association that makes great use of our airport for their annual event, which they did this last Saturday. They have some competitions. So I was able to hang out with aviators from all over the country that actually come to the Imperial Valley and specifically to Brawley to participate in that event. So it was really good, as always. And obviously I did not attend the Elks, but I was one of those that bought a ticket. So and
Yeah, we
actually
all lost, didn't we?
I heard I won.
Oh, you won?
So I won just the money back.
Oh,
kind of,
right
yeah,
on.
that deal. So that's winning, right? So I didn't win the whole thing.
That's
But
winning.
That's not losing.
That's not losing.
That's not losing. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councilman Morton. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you,
Abby,
Madam Mayor.
Please.
I got to attend a Boys and Girls Club mixer a couple weeks ago. It was a nice little event. I was not there for the whole thing, but it's good to see the people there and enjoy what the service that they bring to our community, to our youth. I attended a library board meeting in which we discussed a 10% budget cut across every department, and the library's doing a good job of keeping things moving even with the cuts. I also attended the State of the County address with several of the other council members. I walked up just as they said my name, so it was perfect timing. I got to attend a going away luncheon for Chief Sawyer, and that was a nice event, and it was good to see all my fellow council members there and to meet our new interim chief. And Chief Sawyer had a lot of heartfelt things to say, and it was a difficult decision for him to make, to leave, but we trust that the department is in good hands, and I appreciate the police department for stepping up and working together through a difficult time. I attended a Parks and Recreation commission meeting today, in which we discussed some more difficult issues having to do with budget cuts, but softball was one of the main issues we spoke about. And so I was glad to see community members here that are concerned about that and a way forward. I believe that...
What'd you tell them?
Yeah. I just said, hey, sorry guys, there's no money. I pulled out my pockets, empty pockets. But I believe there's a way forward, just as there was with the girls softball, and we'll put some heads together and make it happen. I was honored to participate and host with interim Fire Chief Mike York an alley cleanup close to our neighborhood, and we did a little bit of advertisement for it. Mike walked door to door and passed out flyers, and we both showed up about 8, and it was the two of us, and I thought, well, this is going to be a big job. But as time went by, more people showed up, and we wound up with, 12 or 15 people there, and everybody worked hard, and that alley looks amazing. I'd like to just drive through there just to sit under the shade trees and enjoy it. It's almost like Riverview Cemetery. It's that peaceful and beautiful now. So we did a heck of a job there, and appreciate Republic Services for dropping off a 40-yard roll-off to put stuff in. at the beginning, Mike and I both looked at that like, yeah, we might half fill this thing, but it was full when we got done.
Wow.
And I've noticed in the days since then, people have stacked more stuff on top of it, so it's doing a community service as well there. And thank you, Rosanna, for helping pull that together too.
If I could just add a comment to that. I know talked about it in a while back. I think we drove around
Yeah,
through some of
that
the alleys
exact
and stuff,
alley.
and that was like a plan that I had, and I'm glad that you're able to implement it, and maybe we can continue that effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an option open for any neighborhood identified. We just need to find a couple community champions
Mhm.
willing to communicate with the neighbors. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about
Republic has-
weed removal? Will it work for weed removal or not?
In alleys or
No,
personal
just-
property? Or?
No, not personal property, like an easement.
Yeah.
Maybe I can talk to you about that.
Like volunteer efforts, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it rained and now we have weeds.
Yeah.
That's what happens
All over
when it
the
rains.
place, yeah. All over the place.
And they look terrible.
Yes,
so.
but I am going to, when I post it on social media, I am going to challenge some of the other alleys, the other neighborhoods nearby to step up and do their alleys too, because there's some pretty bad ones there. But yeah, George, early on, George took me around a couple of those alleys and said this would be good to do some volunteer efforts here, and so it's good to see that come to fruition. And I also want to thank staff and the city manager for stepping up in Shirley's absence. There's just a lot of work to be done, a lot of moving parts within the city that most people don't even see. And so I appreciate all the extra hours going into that. And that's it for my report.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Mayor Pro Tem. Okay. I'm a little off today. Okay, on my report, I attended some of the same functions. I attended the State of the County address in El Centro. It was also a very nice event, well attended, like George said. And I did attend a couple of funerals on behalf of the city. One was a former fireman, Oscar Jauregui, no relation, but a friend of the family. And then I also attended the funeral services for Dale Griggs, who was a longtime resident of Brawley and business owner. And then Rosanna and I attended, along with other community reps, meeting with the San Diego State University president and quite a few of her staff that came and attended a meeting with them regarding a private-public partnership. They're looking at putting a four-year, or expanding our campus out here in Brawley in the north end to four-year university. So that was really, really exciting for us. We hope it comes to fruition, because that would really make a big difference in our north end community. And opportunities, of course, for our kids and to attend college out here and gain their four-year degree. In the meantime, though, one thing that she shared, that before that happens, they were planning on putting in a shuttle service for classes that are not still available here, but they'll go ahead and do the shuttle to San Diego and back. So that opportunity will come before the actual university expansion. Then I also attended the going away luncheon for Chief Sawyer. I think we all have the same sentiment. We enjoyed working with him. We think he did a great job. We know he did a good job, and we're looking forward to working with our new chief, and thank the RPD for their support while we're going through this transition. And then I attended the State of City address in Imperial on Saturday, and that was a real nice event, also well attended. I found out that and maybe some of you knew already. Oh yeah, there's proof.
There are
It's in the
pictures in the
paper.
paper.
I'm standing
On
right
the
there,
front
like
page.
at attention, watching everything. And I found out that it's not a competition, but I don't think I would be able to do it because we have a singing, performing mayor in Imperial. And like I said, unfortunately in my family, there's musical talent, but I'm not the one with the musical talent, so. Anyway, it was a great event. So they shared a lot of really good information about the growth of Imperial. It's really grown quite a bit. A lot of, I think they're looking at, he said, 20,000 by this year, 2020, as their estimate of residents, and it grew from 7,000 something from year 2000 to 2020. So a lot of growth, a lot of new housing, a lot of tax money, a lot of revenue. It all sounded very positive. And so, and then, let's see, this morning I met with a concerned citizen that has an issue that she would like for me to look into. So I'm going to be talking to Rosanna about that. And that's about it. So I also want to thank everyone because I know that we've been going through a lot of changes, and Rosanna and Tyler, both, and the other staff have been very helpful in keeping us afloat. And along that line, we were talking about scheduling our State of the City, and kind of wanted to see if maybe we have a date that we would all like to ensure that we're all in town. And maybe we had tentatively set a date, but I don't think that we'll be ready because we have so many things ongoing right now. So we're looking at possibly moving it forward in the month of March. So I was thinking possibly the 19th of March. Would that give us enough additional time to?
We have a league dinner that evening,
Mhm.
but certainly the morning.
We could do it in the morning?
Yeah.
Does that day look good for everybody? Is everybody in town?
I am.
Are you in town?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I think I'm here.
Okay, so we'll tentatively set it for the 19th of March, and we'll start working towards that goal of viewing our State of the City, and maybe one of my councilmen will be willing to entertain.
Sing?
Yeah, sing.
You gonna sing?
I don't know
What
who.
song are you gonna sing?
Are you the singer?
Yeah, he's a singer. He can play the violin.
We'll partner up on something. That'll be good.
Okay, partner up.
There you go. Kazoos are good.
You could do the
You
first.
and the Mayor Pro Tem.
You could do the first day of the city karaoke or something like that.
Karaoke, well, I can always have my husband sing, and
No, Tyler's saying no. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, you're gonna be sick.
Okay, Rosanna, we'll
We'll
go
all
ahead
be sick,
and
because it'll be later in the.
lock in that date.
Are you going to
Okay.
karaoke Motley Crue?
The
Home Sweet Home?
availability
or
of the
what's
Lions
it?
Center for that day.
No, I don't
Get
like
back
Motley
with you.
Crue.
Okay.
I can do
All
some
right,
Irish.
then we'll move on to city manager report.
I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. City attorney report?
Same thing.
Okay, thank you. City clerk report?
Ditto.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Okay, well, that concludes this part of the meeting. We'll take a little break, and then we're going to go into closed session. Thank you all for attending.